doing the,
Okay.
yeah, it's recording now. So we are doing assignment 10, first question. So we have employee table and department table. Employee table has
Yes.
employee information. Department table has department information. Okay, then there is a job table,
Right here. Yes.
and then
That we have to. Mhm.
there are some flat files. There is
Yes. So
insurance
the
provider.
insurance deductible.
Yeah. So in my target table, I want to see data from all these. No, go to mapping only. Go to your
Mm-hmm.
right, extreme right,
Mm-hmm.
and scroll down.
Yes.
So in I want you to integrate data from all these different system into one place. Why? Because the users don't want to look at employee information in one table, department information in one table, jobs information in another table, insurance information in another flat file. All right. So
And
I
the
want to,
requirement was that we should use both lookups, connected and unconnected,
yeah,
and that we should use join. Yeah.
so I wanted to use source qualifier, join, connected lookup, and unconnected lookup. All the four different ways of joining the objects in one single mapping.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's go from scratch. Okay. So these tables are there.
Okay. So we have the tables. First, we created the tables, of course.
Hmm.
Here they are.
Okay. Employee, department,
Yes. And job.
job. Okay.
Yes. And then the first two tables we can connect on that ID.
Okay. Show me how
That,
you join. Yeah. Show me how you join.
yeah, I did
Perfect.
the.
Perfect. Okay. That's good.
Okay, and then I sorted both of them because we needed to connect the job ID. So I sorted both of them and used the join to connect, and the condition was job ID 1 equals job ID.
Okay. Perfect.
So this is how I connected the three
Yeah. So
tables.
yeah. So do me a favor. Minimize the
Yes.
three source qualifiers. You're done with the three source qualifiers, right? So
Okay, yeah.
the two source qualifiers, the three source definitions. Minimize that.
Okay.
Minimize that.
Well, sorry.
Minimize the one below. So
Yeah.
you're done with this. So you're done with this. Done with this. Minimize the sorter. Okay. Now go to joiner. So double click on your joiner. Did
So
you say
here,
sorted input?
yes, I did the sorted
Perfect.
input because
Yeah.
I did the sort here.
You're sorting the data before loading,
Yes.
and you're supposed to make the smaller table as master and bigger table as detail. In this case, doesn't make any
Okay, that's a
difference.
job ID. It doesn't make any, but it would
Just,
not join. It would not join if we do this master. It will not. It will not let us put the condition. So.
okay. So say okay.
Mhm.
So make your joiner bigger. No, cancel this.
I mean,
Drag it up a little bit. No, no,
here.
make it bigger by dragging it. I want to see all the columns from here only.
Oh, okay, sure. Here.
Okay, so okay, you took job ID and job ID, both job IDs out. You're not
I
supposed.
did no. Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to take only one job ID out. So okay, so double click on your expression. So double click on the first job ID. Delete the
Mhm.
first job ID. You don't need that
Mhm.
because you already have the job ID from the job table.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I have right here.
Yeah. Now make it job ID one.
Job ID. Remove the one, right?
Yeah, just make it one.
Okay.
Say apply.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're what did you do after that? You did unconnected lookups, right?
Yes, we need connected lookup on the zip code.
No, no, before that you did unconnected lookup.
That's yeah. I did it after that. I mean, I can do it either or.
Yeah. So I asked you to return two ports from this unconnected lookup.
So we
Okay.
can do it both ways. We can do
No, no,
unconnected
no.
lookup. And
No,
here you want it that way.
no, you cannot do the other way. You cannot create an output port here because that's a flat file.
Oh,
Inference
you
is a
want
flat
okay.
file.
Yeah.
You cannot create an output port and say return one port which is concatenated values. No, that is the
That's
reason I
only
said,
table.
yeah, you can only do that output port on tables and concatenate the value. So how did you return the unconnected?
Yeah, so in here I connected on insurance code. I did extra port like
Can you
Import
get rid of?
insurance.
Can you get rid of one
Yeah.
insurance code? Yeah, you can get rid of
Mm-hmm.
one. Don't need. Okay.
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 Same
And
here. Yeah,
okay.
here I have it. Yeah.
Okay. And go to your right. And how did
And
you return?
in here, this is what I kept getting, the insurance code 2 and 3. This is like it
No.
kept creating this
Okay.
thing for me.
Okay. So show me your output ports, insurance provider.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the code for it. So colon
Yeah.
LKP dot LKP insurance provider.
And we connect on insurance code here.
Okay.
The
Say
same thing in here.
okay. What are
Both
you
of
return?
them.
Go back to your unconnected lookups.
Mm-hmm. And I only need to return the deductible from here and the
Yeah. So go to ports.
here, the deductible.
Okay, you said return for deductibles. Okay.
Yes, and another one is for insurance provider. Here.
Okay, very good. So you can delete. Okay, go back to the first lookup, unconnected lookup.
Yes, so what
Go,
do I do
no,
with
no, no.
this?
Go back to the first unconnected lookup.
Mm-hmm.
Go to
Yeah.
ports. So you're joining on what?
On
Insurance
insurance
code,
code.
and you're
Yes.
returning insurance
The
deductible.
deductible.
So okay, so okay,
Okay.
and show me the lookup condition also in the first one. Sorry,
It's okay.
what is the condition? Insurance code.
Condition.
Okay, okay, that is good. That is good. And then
Yeah,
go
I
to the
just
second.
didn't understand why it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
returning these two.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So go back.
Mm-hmm.
Double click on the second unconnected lookup.
The condition is the same.
Okay, correct. And then go to ports. And this one you're returning data, the insurance
Insurance
provider.
provider.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Say okay. Go to your expression. Okay. You shouldn't be seeing insurance code 2, insurance code 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Delete.
delete that. Delete the insurance code 3 and go into that lookup insurance, the output port for insurance provider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, delete this entire thing. This is correct, but I don't know why you're seeing that. Scroll to the bottom, double click on lookups, and
Here we use the
wait,
provider.
wait, 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 wait. Why do you have? Oh, okay, that's the zip code one. Okay,
I
yeah,
named
yeah.
them.
Okay, so double click on insurance provider. So colon LKP dot LKP insurance provider. Okay, very good. Go to ports. Open the lookup for insurance provider, and
Yes.
you're joining on insurance code. So double click on that and
Yes.
get rid of colon LKP, that insurance provider.
That's what I did.
Okay, validate. Say okay. Say
It's
okay.
the same thing.
Say apply.
Okay.
Say okay.
Fix the
Yeah,
other one.
now you're not getting it, right? No, do control S. Say okay and do control S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now you're not getting it. Okay, go to the deductible. So I guess even deductible it's not doing it, right? So that is also good. So colon LKP. You don't have to do it. Okay, if you want to do it, do it. You can get rid of everything.
Okay.
You know why you got that? Hold on one second. Yeah, click on insurance. So you might have clicked on IN insurance code instead of. No, you're not.
Oh,
No,
wait,
not
wait, wait, wait.
deductible. Not,
Insurance code. Yes. I'm
yeah,
supposed to add the insurance code.
yeah. You have to join on the column. You have to put the column on which you're joining. So it will
Yeah.
return in the lookup. You put R, the column which you're returning. Okay.
One
Get rid of
dot
the dot.
here. Just okay.
Validate. Say okay. Say okay. Control S. Okay. Now,
No changes.
yeah. Now you need okay, double click on your the lookup.
That's a connected one.
Yeah, so get rid of that one at the end. Okay.
Okay.
Control S. So what are you returning from this one?
Zip code.
No, what are you returning from this?
Oh, I'm returning city, state. We don't need the country actually.
You don't need country, so you can go to your ports. So guys, this is important. Okay, go to ports
Yes.
and delete country because this is performance
Oh,
tuning. You can delete
okay.
the unwanted ports
Okay.
only when it's a table. Remember this, you can delete unwanted ports from lookup only when it's a table, not for flat files.
When
Okay.
we load into a table?
No, no, when you're doing a lookup on a table. Zip code is a
Mm,
table, right?
no.
Zip code is a
Uh,
table.
is it? Let me see. Mm, mm, mm,
Oh,
mm.
if it's not a table, you cannot do this then.
No, it's a flat file.
Okay, sorry. Cancel this.
Okay.
Cancel this. Say yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You can delete unwanted ports only if it's a table. Okay. Okay. Control S. Right click and say.
I just didn't connect it, so I
Yeah.
left it
You
empty.
don't. You don't because it's not being returned. Okay. Right click and say arrange all iconic. So guys, you can see. You can see how big your mappings are getting now, right? Okay. Show me the session and I mean refresh your session and run the workflow.
Okay, let me see. So here what I did, I just entered the addresses for all the lookups.
Yeah. If it's a table, you have to give the connection. If it's
Yeah.
a flat file, you have to give the flat file.
So everything is pretty much the same what we did.
Perfect. Control S.
No changes.
Okay. Now you integrated data from 5 different systems into one place. So if a person wants employee ID, department name, job, everything, it is in one single place.
Yeah.
Is that clear to everyone?
Tonya, excuse me, I
Yeah,
missed at the beginning of the class. Do you mind if you go back to your
of course.
the design and then can I see the unconnected lookup?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my concern that like, can you show me please how did you get this insurance provider and um, the deductible?
So, Ramil, these are all the columns that we have to have, right? We just
Okay,
like basically focus on the columns. Like in here, I could not find the provider from all these tables and from the connected lookup. So where am I supposed to get it? From unconnected lookup. And the same thing for deductible. So this
no,
is
I
one
know,
where,
but for the
yeah,
unconnected ones, we had to use the expressions and make a connection expression with the source called file or wherever, right? I
yeah.
apologize that I missed the beginning of the
No,
class
that's okay.
because of my internet.
Yeah, just double click on O insurance provider here. Yeah. So the
It's the
same thing
same
what we
thing.
did yesterday, colon LKP dot LKP, the lookup transformation name, and in brackets, the column on which you're joining.
And it's the same thing here for
Same thing
the,
for the deductible also.
it's
Colon
just,
L.
I named them, right? Maybe it's confusing because I
No, no,
named
no. That's the
my
right way.
lookups.
That's the right way because from one same lookup table, same lookup flat file, but you're returning different columns. So it's better to rename it.
Yeah, so in this case, I have 3 lookups. This one is connected
Connected,
and these 2 unconnected.
unconnected. Those two are the same. She's doing unconnected lookup on the same file, but returning different columns each time. One time she's returning insurance provided, the other time she's returning deductible.
Yeah, it's the same flat file.
Tonya, do you mind if you show me the just close this one? I just want to see. You know what I had a problem.
Yeah.
The provider and deductible come to the expression. This is that I just want to see from where did you take it, this information to the expression.
To the expression? What do you mean?
Mhm.
No,
Okay, so you just create the port, right? Insurance code, and it's already here. It has 3 ports. This flat file has insurance code, provider, and deductible. But we can only extract one, right? So this is what
Okay.
we do. And to the expression, you just take from here and name it O, like output.
Amel, can you share your screen? Maybe it's
Yeah,
better if you
let
share
me
your
start.
screen.
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
stop sharing.
if you share your screen, we can look. Okay.
because Abdul, do you see my screen? I mean, guys.
Yep.
Okay. So here, I know that like I see that right now that I was trying to use the, I mean, she used the expression here. I was trying to use the expressions like a not the here. So my problem was that like you see these two call the row. I was not able to take this information because for the lookup that one is good, but when I was doing the unconnect lookup, then I
You
had
have to put the expression here, Ramil, in between. Join, or you have to put the, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need an expression between that.
So when you put the expression that I confused on that one, that like from where did you drag the insurance provider and deductible?
Create an
That
expression. Create an expression between lookup and target.
you take these all of them out.
Yeah, take them out. Don't delete the lookup. You're deleting lookup also. Be careful. Don't delete lookup. Yeah, now delete it. Get an expression. Take all the columns from the joiner.
If I take your time, Abdul, I can do it after.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
No, you're not doing it from scratch, so that's okay. If you're like you're almost towards
Ramil,
the end.
I think your connected lookup has to go to the expression as well.
No, that's okay. No, that is okay. That is the right. He can do it like this also. Map the zip code back to the lookup.
Yeah.
Okay. Take all the columns from the joiner. Right click, select all, and drag and drop. Okay, and from the connected lookup, return. What do you need? City and state.
To the target, right? Or here.
To the expression. To the expression. You have to go one step at a time. You cannot jump expression and go directly to target. Yeah. Now minimize everything before the expression. You don't need anything before the expression. Minimize everything.
Okay, this one is good. Here is good. Okay.
Okay, you should name it properly. I'm not going to go into the namings right now.
No, I know. I'll do this one. I understand the logic. My problem is getting these two ones. Just
okay.
This
So
one.
minimize joiner, minimize lookup. Okay. Control S, and now map everything to the target. Be careful when you make sure that.
So I have here two job ID. I think one of them I did already. So job description, this one.
Delete the one which is, keep the one which is coming from job table. Delete the one. No, not from here. Not from here.
No, I'm just looking which one
comes
from
job ID 1.
You have to
job
keep
ID
it.
1. I have to keep this one. Okay.
Yeah, you have to delete that one. Delete it. Double click on job ID and delete it. Okay, cancel this. Not like this. Cancel this. You don't have to click 3 times. Double click on job ID. It will directly take you there. Now delete it. It's already highlighted, so delete this. And you can make that job ID 1 as job ID only. There is no 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Description city
and state. Okay. Now you still have to return insurance provider and deductible that is coming from a single flat file. So from a flat file, you cannot,
right?
Yeah, you cannot return multiple ports from unconnected lookup when it's a flat file. Okay. If it's a table, you can create an output port and concatenate, and you can, in an expression, you can break it down. But if it's a flat file, you cannot return it. Okay. So do a lookup on the flat file, the insurance flat file. Somebody can help him. I mean, Tonya, you can help. It would be practice for you guys. Okay.
You can go to source. No.
So I'm gonna take the insurance.
It was there already.
Okay. So this one is my unconnect lookup for the insurance flat file.
Yeah, you have to add the in port.
Okay.
So what will you join on?
So here we have to join the
Insurance code.
insurance code, right?
Yeah. So drag and drop insurance code.
From here, right? The expression.
Yeah.
Insurance code.
That's what I was doing, and I think that's why it was giving me those extra columns, because I was then deleting the connection.
Now delete it. Now delete the port. Delete the connected the connection.
Yeah, unconnect because it's
Okay. Now proceed. First of all, name this. Put ion in the front, lowercase ion. Okay.
Can I go to the connections here?
Yeah, create a connection. This is good. That is good. Rename it. Rename the lookup transformation. Don't keep LKP. So what are you returning?
Insurance.
No.
Deductibles or
You're returning either deductible or insurance
or
provider.
provider.
Okay,
Let's
so
see.
say insurance provider.
Okay.
Click OK. Go to ports. Go to ports. So you have to say what are you returning here. So click on R for insurance provider.
Yes, we connect to this one.
Okay. Now return that port in unconnected look in the expression. So drag and drop insurance provider from the target. Just one. Yeah, drag and drop that one. Double click on the expression. Make this as an output port. Yeah, and go inside. Yeah, how do you return a? Yeah, you can say O underscore lowercase O underscore. Okay, how do you return an port from an unconnected lookup?
It's gonna be like a lookups.
Yep.
And the insurance provider.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do the ports for the lookups insurance providers.
Mm-hmm.
Provider, this one.
No. On the
insurance
column on which
code.
you're joining.
And joining is the insurance code. You're right. The insurance code because we made the condition of this one.
Wait. That's not how I should. Get rid of that. Okay. See? Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, get rid of LKP. Get rid of that also before dot.
Yeah.
Now validate. Say okay. Say okay. Say apply. See, I think you were doing the same mistake, Punya. So get rid of that insurance code. You shouldn't be seeing that insurance code 1.
Yeah, it's gonna give it automatically.
No, you shouldn't be seeing that. Ramil, delete that insurance code 1.
This one, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't be seeing that. Say apply. Say okay. Control S. Okay. Now return deductible now. Yeah, you
This
can map to the target. Okay, same way return deductible.
But we have to do the second lookup right now.
Yeah, do
right?
Control C, Control V on the lookup. Instead of importing, yeah, rename this as LKP underscore deductible. Okay, go to ports and return deductible this time.
Deductible here.
Yeah. Say apply, say okay. Yeah, this is all going to remain the same. Say apply, say okay. Okay. Make this as O underscore deductible.
Okay, here.
That's it. Yeah, go to your this thing. Make it O underscore deductible.
Oh, it's gonna be insurance deductible now. No. Lookup.
Deductible, right? The first one. Okay. No, yeah. No, yeah,
Okay, and the insurance code was
yep,
the.
yep. And get rid of everything before the dot and the dot. So validate, say okay, say okay, say apply, say okay, control S. Now map this to the target and run your workflow. That's it.
Okay, I'm good now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay. So who did the second assignment?
I did it, but I'm getting nulls in that concatenation, so there's some mistake and I don't know how to fix it.
Can you open that?
Yes.
It's the same. Yesterday I returned 2 columns. I'm just asking you to return 3 columns. So for that you should be very good with substring and in string.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was this one.
Everything mapping name should be everything should be uppercase. Okay. So double click on that. Double click on your lookup. Go to
Mhm.
ports. So what did you do? You created an output port.
Yeah, AMPID name, because this is what we're missing. AMP
No, no, no,
ID.
no, no. 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 Your employee should have been the source and department should have been the lookup.
Hmm.
That's okay.
Also, I did it the other way around.
Yeah, that's okay. So even if you are doing this one,
Mm-hmm.
why is this not working? Go back to your expression. Go to your expression. Okay.
So I connected on the depth
Okay.
ID.
Okay.
So in here, it's
Can you go
basically the
back? Can you
same.
go back to your lookup? Sorry, I didn't check a few
Sure.
things. Show me what
Yeah.
are you? Show me your lookup. No, no. Show me your lookup.
Mm-hmm. Unconnected. There's one lookup. I
Not from
called it.
there. Actually, can you double click on the lookup?
Sorry, I'm gonna. Should I delete it?
Cancel. Just say cancel and don't save any changes. No,
Okay.
no, no, no. Cancel this. Cancel
Yes.
this. Cancel this also. Go to your lookup.
I'll look up. Sure.
Go to ports. So you're returning emp ID and name and go to conditions. You joined on depth ID. Okay. Okay. Go back to your expression, please. Okay. Go to ports. Okay. Go to emp ID. O underscore emp ID.
Yeah, here.
So what did you say? Substring.
Let me show you that in here.
Yeah. How is your data looking?
Just a minute. We had it here. So, oh, here. Where was that? The last code. Okay. So,
Okay.
AMP ID and name. So it's basically the same thing.
Okay.
Let's imagine there's more than one digits in here. So it's going to be substring of AMP ID, then one comma in string
string.
of AMP ID. I mean of
Yeah.
yes.
Can I see that?
Then
Can I see that logic? What you have there in your expression? Because we did the exact thing yesterday.
yes, we did the exact thing.
No, why are you? Is that a dot or a comma? Oh, that's a comma. Okay.
Comma, 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 and yeah, it validated works.
Say okay. Say okay. So, but this should have been a number, right?
Not string,
Yeah, not string. It should be a number.
decimal or double.
You can say decimal.
Okay. And this can be
Name
string.
is going to be a string.
Yes. So that was good.
Yeah, this is good. So you're
And
saying
here,
substring is
and here
starting.
we need everything after comma. So
Yeah,
that's
this
comma,
should
comma,
click
plus
OK.
one, because it's gonna turn, yeah.
Click OK. Go back to your emp ID.
AMP ID, yes.
Yeah.
That's basically what we did yesterday.
Yeah, that's what we did yesterday. So hold on one second.
I apologize, by the way, I couldn't answer because my daughter was on me all the time. So I know you were asking me about the homework.
Let me look at this one.
So my port here, that's the port we created.
So show me the MPID port. Oh yeah, this is the MPID port. So you're saying
Yes.
in string substring in string 1 comma starting from the first character, go all the way. You have to put -1 at the end.
-1?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, over there. Yeah, over there. So click OK. And
here,
go to the next
+1.
one. Over there. Yeah, you already put +1. Click OK. Say apply. Say OK. Control S.
Where is my? Okay, it succeeded. See, it returns null here.
Show me your unconnected lookup. The lookup
There's
override.
something, yeah, I did something wrong, probably.
Yeah, double click on this. Go to properties. And show me your lookup override. Copy this and execute this.
Yeah, I did. I have it in the query and it works. That's what I have.
It's
the
the same thing. Okay.
Yes, and it does work. It returns me this
Okay, go back to your lookup.
designer. Yeah.
Tonya, is it same when you say subster v lookup? Do you mind if you say instead of that one the column name?
The column name instead of that V port?
No, you have to pass it. Otherwise, you cannot call an output port within an output port, right? So that's why she's passing it to a variable and then she's calling that variable in an output port.
Yes, it equals S O MID and name.
Okay. Do you mind
Click
if
OK.
I see the variables?
No, 1 second. Can you go to ports? Ports
Sure.
here. OMPID. Okay, yeah, this one looks good.
And that should return the value.
Yeah, I don't see a problem here.
Maybe it's something in a workflow in a session.
No, it's in the expression only. Go to your expression. Because we did this yesterday.
Yeah, we did. And I checked. Okay.
So
Great.
do me a favor.
Yes.
Go to your O_MPID.
Uh-huh.
And type in comment this out.
Okay.
And type in copy the substring VLKP, copy that entire thing. Not keep moving. No, stop. Before the brackets.
Before the brackets, right here?
Yeah. Paste that. Paste that on the top. Put 1, 1 at the end. Get rid of that in string.
Okay.
Let's hardcode 1, 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Now run this.
Bless you.
Because we only have one employee ID, right? 1 to 1 single digits. So 1, 1 should work.
Okay. So I actually have it here. Still returns null.
1 second.
I don't know.
Can you go back to your mapping?
Yes.
So MPID or mapping to MPID name.
This I should remove, right?
Yeah, why are you getting that depth ID? I mean, it doesn't matter if you have it or you don't have it. Yeah.
Okay. So that comes from here. Everything comes from here. And these two come from the lookup.
Can you run your debugger?
Tonya.
Yeah.
Tonya. So you see over there the MPID, right?
Yes.
On the target, it is number. No.
On the target, yeah.
No, that you look your MPID
number.
MPID. But you did it. Can you go to your expression? I think you change it Oh, you change it to decimal, right?
Yeah, we just
Just
changed it.
changed it to decimal.
Name. Maybe
Yeah.
it takes as a worker. So maybe if you can actually it has to accept in this case the name only. At least it should be correct one.
Run your debugger.
Okay. Oh, wait. You must save
Do
your
Control
changes.
S.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Refresh your session also.
Sure.
Map. Look, it's a mapping is invalid. Can
It's
you go back to your
invalid. Yeah.
cancel this? Cancel this.
It says invalid. What just happened?
Go to mapping and validate. It will tell you what is invalid.
Depth ID is
It's saying,
unconnected.
it is saying invalid in the lookup. Oh, go to your expression.
We just deleted
Go to
the
ports.
wrong port.
No, go to VO underscore MPID.
Mm-hmm.
No, cancel this. Go to the other one. Go to the other output port.
This one?
Name.
The name. Okay.
No, sorry. You have to go to the variable port.
Variable.
There is a problem with your variable port.
Because we deleted the emp ID, the department ID, and I think we needed the.
Yeah, but
We have no connection.
you're joining on depth ID, right?
Yes, but it's, you see how depth ID in here, sorry. In here it's depth underscore ID, and here it's department ID.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, right? Because, okay, go to your VLOOKUP, the variable port,
Mm-hmm.
and get rid of this entire thing.
Okay.
Go to functions, double click on this. Okay, go to ports, go to your unconnected lookup, double click on depth ID, and get rid of that.
Okay.
Say validate. Say okay. Say okay. Get rid of depth ID here. You don't need that depth ID.
We just got rid of it, and it's here again.
Say apply. Say okay. Control S.
Okay.
No, it is still
Invalid. Ramiel, did you do this?
No, I'm looking. I also stuck over there. But there is a small mistake I think about this.
I know.
Yes, I'm trying to catch this stuff.
Let me check maybe I'm not connected here.
No.
I think no, it is not this one. It
No.
is
I'm
here.
not
The mistake
connected.
is
No,
probably
okay. First of all, you should never log into this one.
Never?
Yeah, you should never log into this one.
So it
If your
doesn't
Powercenter
matter.
is working fine and the workflows are
Yeah.
working fine, then
Okay.
you never have to log in. Okay, guys,
now?
you
No,
can look
it's
at the video and fix this. It's a small problem with this one. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me proceed. Okay, let me share
Yeah.
screen. Yeah, we did the same thing yesterday. We returned 2 columns only, but I don't know why it's not working.
no, we have a small mistake. We're gonna
The only difference, I think, did we do it from Flatfire or from the table?
No, table to table only, right? This is also table only, right? It's not a flat file, right?
No, it's a table.
It's a table, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that should. I don't know. Did I delete my mapping yesterday? The one I am returning multiple ports from unconnected. I think I deleted that, or I made changes because I don't see my unconnected lookup. Anyways, watch the recording.
You were showing it to us in the lookup.
No, yeah, but I think I deleted that and then I created this regular lookup. Okay, anyways, so today we are going to do update strategy. Okay, so guys, whatever we did so far, it's the easy part. Now this is the difficult part. So If you can understand update strategy, you can understand SCD1. If you understand SCD1, you will understand SCD2. Okay. So the this one, these are all easy. The things which we did not do so far, rank transformation, these are all easy. You will be getting paid going forward based on this transformation. This transformation is what's going to pay your salaries and mortgage and rent and everything. This transformation. So this is very important. You have to listen to this very carefully. This is slightly complicated. So we are done with like most of the transformations. So I'm going to cover this one today. We're done with expression, filter, aggregator. I'll do lookup. We are done. Sequence generator. We're done. Stored procedure. We did not do. We will never do this. Joiner we did. Normalizer. I'll show you. Rank. I will show you. This one and this one are very easy maplet. That is like 5 minutes. Router I'm done. Sorter I'm done. Transaction control. One definite interview question on this. Source qualifier I'm done. We will not use this. I will show you HTTPS transformation. Web services HTTPS is the same. This is slightly more powerful. You need a license for this. So instead of using this, just use this from the free version. SQL transformation, I'll show union. I already showed. And then we will cover XML and XML. Okay. If you know Java, you can use this. We will not be using the one. We're done with 70%. If we do this one right, we will be done with 85% of our course. So we will be done left with simple. Okay. So update strategy is very important. Update strategy and expression. Okay. Now, so what is so far? If you have noticed, we have never updated data in the table, right? We have only inserted records so far. We have never updated data so far, right? We only inserted data into table so far. So for the first time, we are going to update records in the table. Okay, let me create it. Let me create a table. Create table emp underscore upd underscore strat. So emp id number, emp name varchar2. Okay, I don't need to do this. Let's use the shortcuts. Okay. So I'm going to create a folder here. The folder name is going to be update strat. I'll create a flat file here. So I'll create a flat file called update strat. I will have emp id name get id 1 up to that. Keep it simple. So my requirement here is whenever Abdul changes his department ID, in the target table, that department ID should be updated. Okay. So let me show you how it's done. If you miss people who miss today's class or who do not understand today's class, we will not proceed with your interviews. Okay. You will not even get your resume. We will not schedule your interviews if you don't understand this class. So SRC files, update strategy.
Abdul, this subject I think you were talking about while you were showing us the incremental values, right? Or
No.
or it was because
No.
we said that when person changed the depth IDs or
No,
the
that was different. Increment, don't get confused with incremental loading. Incremental load is we are still inserting data into the table, but only when if the record gets changed in the source, only then we will insert that. Okay.
oh, I see. If there is a change, okay.
If there is a change, we will still insert it. Okay.
Hmm.
So next, finish. Okay, let me make this as 15. Control S. This is my source flat file. Now I'm going to create a target table. I'm going to make this as Oracle. Okay, you cannot use update strategy without a primary key. Remember that. Okay, you cannot create a update you cannot use update strategy without a primary key. You need to have a primary key, first point. Okay, now I'm going to drag and drop my flat file, my source and my target. I will exit out. Okay, let me drag and drop the source. Let me drag and drop the target. Okay, this is my requirement right now. If this record is not present in the target, insert it. If this record is present in the target and the department ID changed, then update it. Is this clear to everyone? My requirement
Yes.
here is, if this record is not present in the target, insert it. If this record is present in the target on day one, so what will happen? Where is that sheet? Okay, here. So let me. Okay, so I started a company. Okay, I started a company on day one. I hired somebody named Project ID. I hired this person. Okay. At the end of the day, my HR team will send me a flat file with data like this. And they'll ask me to store this data into the target table. Okay. So on day 1, I will insert this record. On day 2, Abdul changed his department ID from 10 to 20. So on day 2, when I run my workflow, this 10 should be changed from 20. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. So you can tell me that, Abdul, why don't you just truncate and load this? On day 1, you will have this. On day 2, if you get 20, you will truncate and load this. So you can just say you will have data like this. Okay, that's good. On day 3, I get data like this: 2, Kamran, and 10. If I truncate and load the table, this one will get truncated and I will have data like this, right? Abdul will be lost, right? So whenever you use an update strategy, you will never truncate target table. You will never truncate target table whenever you use update strategy, whenever you're using incremental load. In these two cases, you will never truncate target table. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so on day 1, I had 1 Abdul 10. So on day 1, you load 1 Abdul and 10. So Abdul is still working in this company, but on day 2, you receive data like this. You cannot truncate target table. Why? Because if you truncate this, Abdul will be lost, only Kamran will be present. So on day 2, what will I do? Since Kamran is not present in my target table, I will insert Kamran in my target table. On day 3, I got Abdul again. And Abdul changed his department ID. On day 3, I will only update this one. Is that clear? So my requirement here is, if the record is not present, insert it. If the record is present and one of the key columns have changed, then update it. On day 4, if I get 1 Abdul 20, no inserts or updates should happen because this record is already present. So no insert. And this column did not change. So no update. Is that clear to everyone? So insert,
Yes.
update, and reject. So you have three operations here: insert, update, and reject. You will insert a record when it's not present in the target. You will update a record if it's present in target and one of the columns have changed. You will reject a record when the record is present in the target and nothing has changed. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, Abdul. This is SED type 1, right?
This is not SCD type 1. This is update strategy. I'm simply first I need to explain update strategy. Only then I can go to SCD1, and then I can go to SCD2. Then I can go to static versus dynamic. So guys, this is very important. This is if you understand update strategy, you will understand SCD1. If you understand SCD1, you will understand SCD2. If you understand SCD2, you will understand static and dynamic. Okay. So insert the record when it is not present in target, update the record when this column has changed, reject the record if the record is present in target and in source on day 3, but nothing has changed. Clear? That's the basic concept of update strategy. Kamran, can you go on mute? Even without looking at the screen, I know it's okay. So how do you do this? How do you check if the record is present in target or not? Okay. So on day 1, you will get data like this. On day 1, your data will be, target table will be empty. This is your employee table. This is your employee table, and this is your employee stat file. So how do you know if the record is present in the target or not? So the first thing you will do is you will do a lookup. You will do a lookup on target table. You will do a lookup on target table. When you do a lookup on target, so whatever table you have here, you will do a lookup on that. Okay, and you will join on this one and this one. You will join on this column and this column. You will join on this column and this column. Okay, so on day one, this table and this table are the same. So you need to first check if that record is present before you insert it. You need to check if that record is there before you update it. So you will do a lookup on the target table and you will join on this one and this one. Okay. So what will happen on day one? You get this flat file, you will do a lookup on the target table, you are joining on this one and this one. So when you join on MPID and MPID, so when you join on this one and this one, what will you return? You will return a null, right? Because you cannot join one with a null. So your insert condition will be if is null, target emp id, comma y, comma, and this will be your insert condition. Okay, this will be your insert condition. Your condition is when I'm joining on this one and this one. This is your target emp id. This is your source emp id. If target emp id is a null, then that means this record is not present in target. You're giving the green signal for this record to be inserted. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
This will be your insert flag. Okay, this will be your insert flag. So if target emp id is null, then insert it. Okay, so what will happen on day one? At the end of the day, you're doing a lookup, it's returning null. So this record will be inserted here. Right? What will happen on day two? Okay, day two, so on day two, this table and this table will be the same. Okay, so on day two, you are getting one Abdul 20. So you need to update this record now, right? Because in your source it's 20, in your target table it's 10. You need to update this. So once again, you will have this insert condition and you will also have an update condition. What will be the update condition? If not is null, target emp id and source department id not equals to target department id. Okay, this will be your update flag. This will be your insert flag. This will be your insert condition. This will be your update condition. So what am I saying? When I'm joining with this one and this one, what will I return when I join on this one and this one? I will return this one, right? So I'm saying target emp id is not null because target emp id is 1. Over here, target emp id was null. Over here, target emp id is 1. So it will no longer be a candidate for insert. Okay, it will be a candidate for update. So if not is null, target emp id, yes, it is 1. And source department not equals to target department. Source department id is not equals to the target department id. This is target table, remember. Only then this candidate, now this candidate will not be, this row, this record is not a candidate for insert, it's a candidate for update. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now on day 3.
So we're gonna keep adding columns, Abdul.
What was that?
We're gonna keep updating different columns. We're gonna keep adding and adding it. If we have like 50 columns, for example.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. For that, we use MD5. We will not keep adding 100 columns here. For that, we will have MD5. But yeah, I'll come to that. That's an advanced level topic. That's a short interview question. That was a problem which Turab was having that day. And I did a screen share with him and I helped him out. So he was having a problem with MD5 only that day, like last week or the week before that. So yeah, I'll come to that. Good question. If you're tracking changes on 100 columns, will you write source department ID not equals to target department ID, source salary not equals to target salary, source zip code not equals to target zip code? No, you can, but no, it's not the best way of doing it. So on day three, okay, so on day three, what will happen? On day two, this will get changed to 20, right? This will get changed to 20, and end of day two. On day three, I get the same record. So will it be an insert or update? So for insert condition, when I'm joining on one and this column and this column, I should return a null. Of course, I'm not returning a null because there is one here. So this is out of question. Will this record be a candidate for update? So I'm joining on this one and this one, I'm returning one. So this condition is satisfied. Source department ID not equals to target department ID. So that condition is not satisfied. So it will not be an insert or be an update. Is that clear?
But we put n in there. Can't we just like say no and it's not gonna load in the table any record in the
No.
table?
This is what is there in the expression. Then we have a router. I'll come to that. So I'll come to that. So in the router, we will only pick up y and y. Insert flag equals to y, update flag equals to y. So we will ignore both of them. For example, on day 2, I also received this. Day 3. So first of all, it will go. So first Abdul will go into the lookup. It will check. It is returning 1. So insert is out of question. Update is out of question because even though this condition is satisfied, this condition is not satisfied. Because department ID and department ID is same. So it will get ignored. It will go to the default port in the router. Okay. Now, second record goes to the lookup. So it will, I'm joining on MPID and MPID. So 2 will join with nothing here. So it will return a null. So when you're joining 2 with null, it will return a null, right? So if it's null, target MID. Yeah, target MPID is null for Kamran. Okay. And so it will immediately be a candidate for insert. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do this. So first thing you will do is you'll do a lookup on the target. Okay, I don't have to import because that target is already present here. So I can go here, update strat. Okay, I'm going to rename this and I'm going to call this as check record exist. Okay, so I'm going to join on MPID and MPID. I'll put this as in. Okay, now I'm going to get an expression. So what are the two uses of lookup? The first use of lookup is whatever you guys did so far, joining on dept ID and dept ID and returning department name. This is the second use, checking if the record exists, right? The first use of lookup is if in your source you have MPID name dept ID and in the target you need dept name. So you can do a lookup on another table, join on dept ID and return department name to return columns which are not present in the source. The other use of lookup is to check if the record is existing or not. Okay, so I'll just select, drag and drop everything here. From this one, I will drag and drop MPID and dept ID. I will call this as LKP. I will call this as LKP. Okay, and I will rename this as insert underscore UPD underscore flag. This is how you should name it. Okay, I will create two flags here. Insert flag string 1 output port Create flag string 1 port. So over here, your condition will be if is null LKP emp ID. LKP or target is the same word. Then y think I put a
Abdul, is it mandatory to create the flag?
yeah. Without a flag, how will you insert
Yeah,
or
you can say if is null, and then the second one insert, and then for the update you can say not is null. That's it. Easy.
if is null?
Yeah, if is null, look up imp ID. If is not if null, if is null. Uh,
Yeah, you can do that, but
Huh.
this will be easier to understand.
Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, what Turab is saying, we don't have to use the sorter.
Sorter.
I mean the router, sorry, the router.
No, router we have to use it because we have a two
No, we still have to
condition.
use the router. Yeah, you don't have to use this y or n. You can just say if is null LKP emp ID. Okay. So no, you cannot use, if you're using if statement, you have to use, see, you cannot without, you cannot use
I'm
this
saying
because
you're gonna
this is
say
like if this condition, then do this. You're just saying if this condition, it will say,
no. I'm saying is null. Look up imp ID. That's it.
yeah, that is what I'm doing. If is null, lookup emp ID.
You have ify there. That's why you have to use y and n.
Abdul, don't
Oh,
use anything.
you mean just like this?
Yeah, just like this. And then say okay. Say okay. That's it. And then for the update, say not is null. Look up imp ID and target not equal to source.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stick to this one. This is used everywhere. So you can experiment with the way he's saying. So you
Okay.
can say if is null. Okay. If is null LKP emp ID. I'm going to say that means when I'm doing a join, I'm saying when I'm doing a join, and if I'm returning null here, I'm saying when I'm doing a join, and this is my target or lookup. So if I'm returning a null after I'm doing a join, that means that record is not present in the target. So I'm going to validate this, and my update flag will be IIF not is null, not is null LKP emp ID, and source department ID not equals to the target or LKP emp ID, depth ID. I will say y. This is clear to everyone.
Yes.
You will not take lookup department ID. Lookup department ID is only used for the update. What will you do with the record which is already present in target, right? So you will only use it all the way till here. Okay. Then in the router, you will say ins underscore UPD. Okay. And in the groups, I will say insert diff. So insert flag has values y and n assigned to it. So I will say only pick up the values which have insert flag y. That means these are candidates for insert. Pick up only the records which have update flag equals to y. That means these records are candidate for update. apply, say okay. So you will have insert and update. Okay. So you will double click on this and rename this as insert. You're not renaming the table, guys. You are not renaming the table. See, the table name is still update strat. I'm just giving one name here. Say apply, say okay, control S. So I will take the records from insert and map it here. Okay. I will do control C, control V, and I will rename this as update. So how many target tables do I have here in my mapping?
One.
I only have one target table. I have two instances of the same target table. Remember that. I have one target table, but I have two instances of the same target table. One I'm using for the insert pipeline, the other one I'm using for the update pipeline. Okay, now how will I do update? So insert is, it's already done. So I have update. So I will bring in this update strategy. So I will bring in LKP MPID. Why am I bringing in LKP MPID? Why am I not bringing in MPID?
We need to check the target.
Because we are doing lookup on MPID if it exists.
So I need to look at this one. So whenever what does update mean? You're updating an existing record, right? You cannot update a brand new record, right? You're updating an existing record. That's why you're bringing in LKP. LKP means target. So an existing MPID, update it. Clear? Is this clear why we are bringing in LKP MPID? LKP means target. So we are saying update an existing. You cannot take an MPID. This record is coming in. MPID means this, and this are coming in for the first time, right? These are coming from source. These are coming from LKP MPID means an existing target MPID. Okay. After that, you have to make a small change here. You'll have to make this as 1, or you can make this as DD underscore update. Doesn't matter. Let's try with DD underscore update. See, if you have to insert a record into a target, you can just map it directly. If you want to update a record, you have to use update strategy. Okay. Control S. Let me create a. So this is the data flow of update strategy. Check if the record existing, create insert update flag in the router, insert update, and then like this. So let's create a generator workflow. Just give me 1 second. How are you? क्लास चल रहा था बोलो. Okay. You have to delete. Yeah, you have to delete records from. नहीं तुम्हाको you'll get an error saying parent records present. You have to delete from the child table first. उसको foreign key constraint बोलते हैं. Foreign key primary key.
What, Sophia?
No, it's called foreign key. So you always have to delete records from the child table and then from the parent table. हाँ वो foreign key, उसका नाम foreign key primary key. हाँ foreign key बोलते हैं उसको. And if you try to insert data into master parent table child table first, it will say constraint pilot.
Her ya.
Orada 3 tane table var idi. Bax biri empty, biri lookup. O lookupda ne hansı table'ı götürdü?
Lookup'ımız elə target table'ımızda.
Okay. So actually my friend just called me. So he's saying he's having a problem at work. He's getting integrity constraint violated. So I told him he's trying to insert records into master table first, child table first before master table. So he was asking how to fix it. So you guys could have answered that. So
Enable the constraint.
yeah, the enable This
the
one.
session. Yeah.
Constraint based. So his problem was not that actually. So he was trying to delete records from the parent table first and child table. He's getting error saying that child record present. So I told him you have to delete from the child table first and then from the master table, or just disable the constraints. So he was asking what is the constraint called. So I told him that it's foreign key, primary key, foreign key constraint. He said, okay, he'll try it. So wait, I did something wrong. Okay. Source is a flat file. No, I'm looking at the wrong workflow. Okay, this is the workflow. Okay, so the workflow here is this should be checked. Config, the stop on error should be 1. Okay. Make sure that you're reading data from the right folder. You will never ever truncate the target tables. If you truncate target tables, you will always do inserts. You will never have updates. Clear? Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So if you truncate target table, every time the record, when it trying to search, it will be empty, right? So every time it will be an insert only. And the history, you will lose the history. Whatever records were inserted day 2, day 3. Okay. And the other thing you have to make sure this one is data driven. For the first time, you will see this one is data driven. If you open any other previous mapping, that will be insert. Okay, for the first, see, this is insert. Open any mapping, it will be insert. Open any session, your session will become data driven. See, this is insert. But for the first time, you will see data driven. What does data driven mean? If record is not present, it will insert. If the record is present, it will update.
Basically, it depends upon data.
It doesn't depend upon data. It depends on if you're using update strategy in your mapping. The moment you use update strategy, your session will become data driven.
Data, okay.
Okay. Is that it? So I'm not truncating the target table. Is that it?
Abdul, do we need to make changes in the, you see, insert update as update, update as insert?
I don't know why
No?
people do that. I have no idea why people do that.
Yeah, I have seen that, like, they change the properties.
You don't
But
need
we
to do
can,
that.
okay.
You don't need to do that. Okay, what am
There is a delete.
what am I missing here?
Abdul, select the truncate table option, right?
No, bulk mode. You cannot insert it.
I cannot truncate the table. I just said multiple times. I cannot truncate the target table. If you truncate target table every time it will be an insert. You will never update the records because your target table is empty. It will return a null. It will always be an insert. You will never ever truncate the target table whenever you're using update strategy or you're doing incremental load. Clearly said that here. You will never. Okay, I'm missing something else.
Bulk.
Okay. So I have a constraint.
Lookup connection.
I already gave lookup connection. Guys, I have a constraint here. I have to use pre and post SQL, right? Disable and enable constraint. Why are you guys so blank?
Yeah, if we do bulk, we have to do that.
Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to keep
normal.
it bulk. I'm going to keep it bulk, and I still have the constraints defined on the target table. I will not do, even then it will work because I'll tell you why. So I have constraints defined on my target table, right? So so when you use update strategy, it will default to normal mode. It will never run in bulk mode. I have constraints defined in my target table. Even then I'm using bulk and I'm not using pre and post SQL. So Powercenter, whenever you use an update strategy, and if you use bulk mode, it will default to normal mode. Is that clear? So updates
You mean
will
by itself, even if we don't change it, it's good?
Yeah, I'm not going to change it. So by itself, it will default to normal mode. So that is the reason updates will make your workflow slow. because it cannot do bulk updates. It will always do normal updates. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, let me run my workflow. So one record read and one record went through the insert pipeline. Is that clear? One record is read, SQ means read, and one record went through the insert pipeline. Okay, now let's look at the session log. So say find and say bulk. See, bulk mode is not applicable for delete, update, or data-driven sessions, defaulting to normal mode. Is that clear? So when you're using update strategy, please do not put pre and post SQL. It is meaningless. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So now let me check my target table. So I have one Abdul 10. Okay. What happens if I run the workflow? If I rerun the workflow, what will happen?
0 record.
Ignored.
How many records will be read?
2.
Okay.
0.
Now tell me, how many records will be read? Where did the second
None.
record come from? Did I
Zero.
put Kamran something? No, I will read one record, right? Why will I read 0 and why will I read 2?
You will read one record, upload 0.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
You will read one record, no inserts, no updates.
It will always read all of the data, but it will not upload. That depends.
You see this? It read one record. It will never do an insert because that record is already present in the target. It will not do an update. Why? Because department IDs did not change, right? Is that clear to everyone? So this is my first test case. My first test case. So you have to do your own unit testing. Your unit testing. So when you develop your code, you have to do your own testing. You cannot just develop your code and dump it on the testing team and say, here, I'm done with my code. They will say, did you do unit testing? So you said, yeah, I have done my unit testing. So your unit testing will be, you will test for pure inserts. Then you will test for ignore. Now I will go to my source. I will change Abdul's department ID from 10 to 20. Okay. So what will happen if I run my workflow now? How many records will be read?
One will be read and one upload.
Say update. Don't say upload.
Updated.
Yeah.
Update, I mean, update.
So one read, 0 insert, 1 update. See, 1 read, 0 insert, 1 update. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so I tested for insert. I tested for reject. I tested for update. Now let me test for insert and update at the same time. Change Abdul's department ID from 30 to 20. So what will happen now? How many records will be read?
2 will be read.
Okay. How many insert?
One will be updated. No.
Which one will be updated?
Yasir will be inserted.
Inserted and
will be updated.
Yes.
Very good. So 2 records will be read, 1 insert, 1 update. Abdul will be updated, Yasir will be inserted. Because Yasir is coming in for the first time, Yasir will not find a match in the target table. So it will get inserted. Abdul will find a match in the target table, but department IDs is different. Right? So 2 records read, 1 inserted, 1 updated. So if I see, Abdul got updated, Yasir got inserted. Is that clear? So this is your 4th test case. First test case is pure insert. Second test case is pure update. Third test case is without making changes, run it. Fourth test case is insert and update at the same time. What will happen? Can someone tell me what will happen now? What will happen now? How many records will be read?
2
two
will be read.
records.
How many will be inserted?
0.
Because no record is coming in for the first time. Very good. How many records will be updated?
I think Yasir will be updated.
Yasir.
Yasir.
Yes,
No
sir.
update, because
Nothing will be updated.
we
Why
have
will
update
Yasir?
on the depth ID. not
We are
name.
only. What is my update flag?
Yeah.
Am I
Yes,
saying
depth ID
name
and
changes?
depth ID and imp ID. Yep.
No emp ID. I'm only tracking changes on depth ID. Only if depth ID changes, then update it.
So
Okay.
it will not recognize the name change.
Nope. 200. It will not recognize the name change. It will still be the same. Okay. Is that clear? Is this clear to everyone? 5 test cases: insert, update, reject, insert, update at the same time, and changing non-key columns. These are your 5 test cases. This is clear to everyone. If you can understand this,
Yes.
you can understand SCD1. If you understand SCD1, you will understand SCD2. You understand SCD2, you'll understand static and dynamic. So they'll pick up the phone, they'll ask me, they'll tell you, can you tell something about yourself, about your previous project, blah, blah, blah. First question, what is the difference between SCD type 1 and SCD type 2? Second question, please explain the data flow for SCD type 2. Third question, what is the difference between connected and unconnected lookup? Fourth question, what is the difference between static and dynamic lookup cache? Fifth question, can you explain performance tuning? Okay, you can ask people who have given interviews if this is the sequence they ask questions. Badri, you're there on the call, right? Can you confirm that? Fahad, Badri, Wasim, can you guys confirm?
Yes, Abdul
Yes,
bhai.
yes, all the time.
They'll ask you the same questions every time. Okay. Connected and unconnected, static and dynamic, SCD type 1. What is the difference between SCD type 1 and type 2? How do you do SCD type 2? And explain about performance tuning. If you answer these questions, then they will proceed. If you do not answer these 5 questions exactly the way you're supposed to, they will hang up. Your interview will end in 15 minutes. That means you did not answer the first 5 questions properly. If you answer the first 5 questions, then they'll proceed. Okay, how do you do this and how do you do that? And if I have this in the source, how do I do this in the target? But the first 5 questions you don't answer, they will not proceed. Okay, anyways, this is clear. We'll take a break in 5 minutes. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
You can do this with the help of joiner also. You don't always have to use lookup. You can use joiner also. Is that clear to everyone? Will you, and in joiner, you will have to use left join, because lookup is always left join, right? Okay, so how do you do this with the help of joiner transformation? Get rid of this. Okay, so you don't have to use lookup, but lookup will give you better performance, because joiner you will have to sort data and it will create a cache and all those things. So So instead of doing a lookup on target, you can use joiner. Okay, you cannot use source qualifier join because this is flat file, this is table. Okay, so get rid of all of this, and then you can use joiner. The columns which are coming from the target, you can call it as lookup. So this is my target table. may rename this check record exist, and this one has to be left join. So I want everything from flat file and only matching records from table, right? So how do I do that? Can someone answer this? I want everything from this flat file and only matching records from this one.
So the flat file will be the left table. We'll do the master on the flat file.
So just tell me what to do here. So
We just choose
flat-
master.
No, we do
Flat-
detail outer. Flat file is master. Oh, sorry. No, you're right. You're right. So what did you say? See, flat file is master, right?
So if we're doing the left join, we do everything from the left table or
no,
flat file.
don't say left or right. I want everything from this flat file. There is no left right here. There is master and detail. So you have to figure out which one is master and which one is detail first. So I want everything from this flat file and only matching records from this one. What should I do? Should I do master outer, detail outer?
I think the flat file is gonna be detail.
Flat file is detail. That is correct. Flat file
And
is
other
detail,
files-
and this is master. This is master. This is detail. If you want everything from detail, what will you do?
Master outer.
You'll do master outer join.
Master outer. It's like a credit card and transactions, so a million transactions and few credit cards. So the flat file is gonna be big table, then
Okay, you don't need name because you're not tracking changes on name. That is unwanted column. Delete that. This is unwanted column. Delete that. You don't need that. Okay, this mapping will work the same way as the previous mapping. If I run the workflow, 2 records will be read, nothing will be inserted, nothing will be updated. See, nothing is inserted, nothing is updated. Okay, now in my source flat file, let me add 3 Ramil 30. So if you rerun this workflow, so how many records will be read? How many records will be read now?
3 will
3
be
records.
And how many insert and how many updates?
One could be inserted.
And how many updates? How many updates?
If nothing changed, 0.
Okay, so 1 insert, 0 update. Is that clear? You can perform the same, you can do the same thing with the help of joiner transformation also. Okay, but 100% of the times you will be using lookup because joiner does not have good performance. Joiner is only useful when you cannot use source qualifier or lookup, only then. There are some conditions which will not satisfy. For example, if you have to join table with flat file and you have to do full outer join, then you cannot use source qualifier join because this is table with table, and lookup can join table with flat file, but it can only do left join. So if you have to do table with flat file and do right outer join, then you only have to use joiner only. You have no other option. If you're joining table with table from 2 different databases and you have to do right join, you cannot use lookup, you cannot use source qualifier join, then you have to use joiner. Okay, keep joiner as the last option. When you cannot, the moment somebody says you have to do right join or you have to do table with flat file and 2 different databases, then you have no other option but to use joiner. Okay, so let's take a break and then we'll come back and we will do static and dynamic lookup cache. Okay, let's take a break and we'll come back and do, actually we'll do STD type 1. We will do STD type 1 after the break. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's proceed. So you all understood, right, how the update strategy works? So you will do a lookup on the target, check if the record exists, check if the record exists, and if the record doesn't exist, insert. If the record exists and one of the columns have changed, then update. If nothing has changed, ignore. Right? Now, based on this one, we are going to do SCD1. Okay? So okay. So what is SCD1? It means slowly changing dimension. Okay, slowly changing dimension 1. Okay, we'll cover more in detail what is dimension and what is fact. Probably next weekend we will cover that. So I have a flat file. In this one I have emp ID, name, depth ID. Okay, I have 1 up to 10. Yeah. So this is my source flat file which the HR team will send me. I will do a lookup on target. Okay, so my target will have the same structure, and this is a primary key. Okay, this is my primary key. So I will do a lookup on this target. Sorry, this is incorrect. So I will do a lookup on target. I will join on this column and this column, right? And from my lookup, I will delete this one. Okay, from the lookup, I will delete this one because we are not tracking changes on name. We are only tracking changes on depth ID. So on day 1, what will happen? So I will write my insert, and my insert condition will be IAF is null. This target or LKP emp ID, LKP emp ID, comma y, comma 10. Okay, this is my insert condition. My update condition will be not is null. Sorry, not is IAF, not is null, LKP emp ID, LKP emp ID, and depth ID not equals to LKP depth ID, comma y, comma n. Okay, this is my insert and update condition. If the record is coming in for the first time, we will insert it, because when it's joining on this one, it's returning a null. If the record is already present in my target and if it's joining, it will return a value here. So insert is out of question. So it will do an update only if this one and this one is different. And if it's already present in the target and department ID is not the same, it's the same, then it will reject it. It will go through the default port in the router. If you change the name, it will not make any changes because we're not tracking changes on name. We are only tracking changes on department ID. And if you do not make any changes and run it, no inserts, no updates. Okay, these are our 5 test conditions. Is this clear to everyone? Can I proceed?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Abdul.
Okay. Now, can I use employee ID as primary key? Can I use employee ID as primary key? What if I have a person who is working in 2 different departments? Will this work? Will this work here?
No.
Right? This will not work, right?
Yeah.
Because no duplicates in MPID, right? So we cannot depend on employee ID as primary key. Okay. So we will instead not depend on employee ID as primary key, because a person can work in 2 different departments. So MPID cannot be primary key. You will instead use emp d key here. Okay, I'll tell you how this one is getting loaded. This one will get loaded from a sequence generator. Okay, this will get loaded by sequence generator. Okay, I'm covering an interview question. What is the difference between natural key and surrogate key? So this is employee ID is natural key. It is coming directly from the source naturally. So that is natural key. This is surrogate key. Surrogate key means, the word surrogate in English means you have to give birth, or surrogate means you are creating on your own end. So you will create this on your own end with the help of a sequence generator. Short interview question. What is the difference between surrogate key and natural key? Okay, so I'll ask you this question. What is the difference between natural key and surrogate key? Surrogate key is created on our end using sequence generator, and natural key is the key that is present in the source file, MPID and MD key. Okay, we'll cover that now. So you cannot depend on the natural key as primary key. Okay, you will depend on something which you create on your end. Okay, so what will happen? So let's get rid of this. On day 1, record comes in. Okay, on day 1, record comes in. So you're joining on MPID and MPID. So 1 and 0 you will join, 1 and null you will join, and sorry, you will join on this column, in this column. You join on 1 and this, and you will return a null. So this record will be inserted. This record will be inserted like this. And sequence generator will assign the value 1 here. Here, sequence generator will assign the value here. Now on day 2, you will get 2 Kamran 10. Kamran was hired in 2 different positions, 2 different departments. Okay. So what will happen now? This is no longer. So you will also have emp d key here. Okay, you will also have emp d key. So you will still join on the natural keys and return surrogate key. Previously, you were joining on natural keys and returning natural key only, right? Previously, you were joining on natural key and returning the natural key. So going forward, you will join on natural keys and return surrogate key. So this one will become LKP emp d key, and this one will become LKP emp d key. Okay. So on day 2, what will happen? You will have data like this: 1, 1, and depth ID 10. Is that clear? Now on day 2, this record, we get data like this on day 2. First record, it will join on this one, and it will return MD key, it will return 1. So if MD key is null, then this record will be insert. No, MD key is not null, it's actually 1. Okay, This one is satisfied. If not is null, LD, yeah, it is not null. And dept ID not equals to dept ID. No, dept IDs are also same. So this record will be rejected. What about 2 Kamran 10? So 2, you're joining on MPID and MPID, right? So you will join 2 with null, and this record will be inserted here. So you will have 2 Kamran 20. Okay. Then the next record, the next record 2, it will join on this one. And so this one and this one you will join. So this table, so now again it will check that it's returning a null. So it will again get inserted here like this. So you cannot, employee ID cannot be primary key anymore. This will be your primary key. See, this will be new values. Every time you insert a new record, a new value will be inserted here. This will be your new primary key going forward. Is this clear to everyone?
Abdul.
Yeah.
So when it was, you said that when the second Kamran is gonna come, right? It's gonna say that it is null, then it's gonna take out. So is it gonna take because of it is null or because of the department ID?
No, because it's a null. Don't think these are same. These are one person, but these are 2 different records. These are completely 2 different records.
I understand, but let's say first Abdul, right? Check the lookup table, correct?
Yeah.
And we see that like it's the same, so it's reject. It doesn't do anything.
Yep.
Okay, so the second one is MPID is 2. So the lookup table is 1, which means that it is a null, is insert. It's gonna insert right away. I
It's
agree.
not going to insert. It's going to hold it in a cache here. Lookup will have a cache, so it will hold it in the cache. Then the next record will go in. It will try to check here. So nothing got inserted into the target table yet. It is holding. So you have source definition, lookup, expression, router, and then the target. So nothing goes into the expression. Everything is held before the expression, and then everything will go into expression. Then router. Then it will get inserted into the target. I know what you're trying to ask. So it will not be one record will not get inserted one at a time.
So my question is that like at the second Kamran, when the second Kamran is gonna come, is it gonna go to check with the lookup or check with the cache?
It will first do the lookup and then the cache. Lookup will not have
so
2 Kamran.
It does with the cache too, right? Because what about if mistake
No,
the 2 of them same?
No, it's not going to do with the cache. Cache is built on top of this lookup. Whatever the lookup will have, that is what the cache will have. So lookup does not have this 2 Kamran yet in there. So again, it will see only this record only. Whenever it's doing a lookup, or whenever it is comparing against the lookup, it will see this record only. In the lookup cache, you will have this, and then you will have this in the lookup cache. Sorry. No names. We don't have names. Okay. So in the lookup cache, you will have 220.
220.
Okay. And then in the lookup cache, you will have 2 and 10. 2 and 10. In the lookup cache, you will have 2 and 20. Okay. Then it will go to the expression. Then it will go to the router. Then it will get inserted in the target. Once the records get inserted into workflow will complete, records will get inserted into the target. Records will get inserted here also. So over here you will have 2, 3, 2, 2, and 2, 10. That is end of day 2. When records get read on day 3, then you have this in your lookup. Starting of day 3, this is what you will
have. Can I ask you a question too? Okay, because I don't want to confuse here. So what about mistakenly there are two Kamran 2 times in the flat file?
Very good question. With that, so the current scenario will not handle it because over here it will error out.
Yes,
so that is the reason you need to. That is the reason you need to have dynamic lookup cache. It's very important interview question. Okay, a dynamic cache. I'm going to cover that. This is the top 5 questions: SCD type 1 and type 2. Explain SCD type 2, unconnected, connected, static, and dynamic. Okay, So right now we are going to use static lookup only. Okay, right now we are going to use static lookup only, and we are going to assume that there are no duplicates in my source. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I will cover that. That's actually very important question. Okay, probably I'll cover it next weekend or Thursday or next weekend. But without that, your interview will not happen. Okay, that in that case, the workflow will fail. For example, in my so right now my workflow over here will fail. Okay, if I have, this is your question, right? If you have duplicates here, and if you run this, your workflow will fail with unique constraint violated. Oh, wait.
No, my question was that in a same day, same data, because in
Okay,
this
yeah,
time
right.
you cannot fail. You cannot fail because it's gonna go to check the lookup. In the
Yeah.
lookup, there is a 1 up to 30, so it will not edit that.
So one, yeah, in the same session, you have in the same run,
Yes.
you have to see, you have to say true. And this should
Now
be,
it's gonna fail.
and now it's going to fail with unique constraint. So to handle this, you cannot use static lookup. You have to use dynamic lookup.
Okay.
And now it will fail because in the same session, you cannot have duplicates. Okay, why is it? Because we are using a joiner. Okay, hold on a second. So let me get rid of this.
Yeah, probably you said that you use the other new, the new transformation. It takes out the constraints.
So I'm going to join on depth ID and depth ID. I'm going to make this in. Okay, condition will be depth ID equals to depth ID. I'll rename this. Check record exist. And I'm going to cover Tonia's question as well. She asked, what if I'm tracking changes on 50 columns? Will I keep writing 50 columns? So I'm going to get rid of name here. This is unwanted column because we're not tracking changes on name. So you will say emp ID and depth ID. Sorry. Emp ID and depth ID. Let me start from fresh. So let me say truncate table. So over here, I'll go and so it will say unique constraint violated. So because I'm using lookup as static. I'm using lookup as static. So if you want to make lookup as dynamic, where is that option? Dynamic lookup cache. Okay.
So Abdul, when we're using joiner, is it automatically dynamic or like I don't understand it? We changed
When
it.
we are using lookup, okay. So I think it will fail for that one also. Okay, it will fail for that one also. So I'll just quickly cover this. So right now your workflow is failing because your lookup is static. You know what will happen in the lookup? The cache. So you have one Abdul 10 two times, right? You have one Abdul 10 two times. Your lookup, if this target table is empty, let's say cache on day one, this is what's going to happen. Okay. First record will be inserted in the lookup cache. Only name, this will be inserted in the lookup cache. And then this record will be inserted in lookup cache. And then two records will come out of the lookup cache and we'll try to insert here. And it will fail because primary key violated. Because static lookup cache means only inserts are allowed in static lookup. When you use dynamic lookup cache, so first you will insert 110. For the same primary key, it will go back and check if there are any more records. If it finds one more record like this, then it will update this 110 with another 110. So remember I asked what are the different ways of removing duplicates? Remember, this is one way of removing duplicates.
One of the 4 ways.
One of the 4 ways of removing duplicates when you have this is one of the 4 ways of removing duplicates. Use dynamic lookup. We already know this. I'm going to take one class on this one. So if you use dynamic lookup cache, so for example, sometimes what happens, they hire one Abdul 10, they hire Abdul in department ID 10, and the person who is entering that information suddenly realizes, oh, I hired Abdul in department ID 10, that is incorrect. I should have hired Abdul in department ID 20. So they go back and make changes. At the end of the day, when they send the file, I will receive a file with 2 entries for Abdul. I will receive a file for 2 entries for Abdul, and that will fail. That will fail on my side, right? Because I'm using Powercenter. I configured lookup as static lookup. Okay, I configured lookup as static. So if I want that to work, so how do you handle this? You will have to make lookup as dynamic. Okay, so you will have to say dynamic lookup cache, and then you will have to say insert else update. Okay, say yes. So okay, and see, do you see new lookup row got inserted here? Okay, so you don't need this. You don't need this. I mean, I'm going to explain this again, but since you guys asked this question, I'm going to show this quickly. Don't worry if you don't understand this right now. You don't have to create flags, insert flag or update flag. Okay, Powercenter will create insert flag and update flag for you. Okay, now you will say empid is in an empid. Say apply. See, okay. Okay, you see this empid depth id, and do you see this new lookup row? So you don't have to write flags. Powercenter will make your job easier. Okay, so now you will take all of this, and over here you will create 2 groups. Insert, update. In insert, you will say new lookup. You will say if, or you don't need if. You will just say new lookup row equals to 0. New lookup row equals to 0 means insert. New lookup row 1 means update. Okay, and then you will have this. So you will have empid name depth id, and over here you will have okay. So now if I run my okay, so previously for this data my workflow failed, right? Now if I rerun this, it will complete successfully. See, now if I do select star on my target table, it says new lookup row. Oh, 1 and 2. Sorry, not 0 and 1. 1 and 2. 0 means do not insert or update. Of course, I put. Okay, so sorry. This should be 1. And this should be 2. 0 means it does not do anything. Of course, it did not do anything. Even though it did not fail, but it will not do anything.
But update transformation 0 is insert, right?
What is that?
Update transformation, if you put 0, it's gonna insert.
Yeah. Why are we going there? We don't
No,
want.
you put the new lookup 1 and 2, but in the update strategy you put 0 for the insert.
I have DD update.
Yeah, I know, but if you put the 1, is it gonna insert or update? Insert DD update.
I'm not getting.
The question is, in the update strategy, you can write DD update or DD insert, right?
Yeah.
Instead of that, which digit you have to put there? 1 is insert, 0 is insert, 1 is update. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm not going to type. I can either type 1 or DD underscore update.
Okay, I just want to make sure because the new lookup is different. That's why.
Yeah, the new lookup row,
For the insert, you put 1. That's why.
yeah, insert is 1 because see, new lookup row will insert, new lookup row will update. But it's not doing that. My workflow is failing right now. So in new lookup rows. Okay, so you will have to say dynamic and you will have to say insert else update. I did that. I took out all the columns and let me do this lookup again. 1 second. So IN underscore. So when you're doing dynamic lookup cache, you have to bring in all the columns to lookup. Whenever you're using lookup for active, or whenever you're using lookup, that's dynamic lookup cache, you'll have to check record exist. Okay, you will go here, you will make this as dynamic lookup cache, and then you'll make this as insert else update. You'll go here and make it empid equals to empid. Go to ports and say name, make this as stepped ID. We'll cover this later. Again, yeah, so clients, okay, and let me try this. See, even though I have duplicates in my source, I'm not loading the first record, I'm only loading the second record. Is that clear? But if I'm using this as static lookup cache, so what is the difference between static and dynamic lookup cache? Static lookup cache means if I have one Abdul 10, or if I have one Abdul 20, so if I have one Abdul 10 and one Abdul 20, in my lookup cache, this is what will be inserted, and then this one what will be inserted. And since this is primary key on this column, it will fail here. This is static. Static lookup means only inserts are allowed in the lookup cache. Now, dynamic lookup cache, what will happen? This record will be inserted in the lookup cache. This one will overwrite. This one will overwrite, only this record will come out and get inserted here. Static means only inserts are allowed in lookup cache. Dynamic means inserts and updates are allowed, both. For the same primary key, if there are more records, it will go back and bring it and overwrite it here. If it's static, it will just blindly take this, keep inserting, and then try to load it here. Update means it will load this, it will go back for this primary key and check for the entire flat file, which one is there, if there are more. So if there are like, if there is one more record here, there is one more record here. If this is static lookup, you will have this, and you will have this. You'll have this. Okay, and all three records will be tried to insert in this table. But if you have dynamic lookup cache, first it will insert 110. For this primary key, it will go back and check if there are any more. Okay, then it will update this. For this, it will go back and check if there are more. Okay, it will bring back and this update this. And only one record will come out. So dynamic lookup cache is very slow. Try to avoid doing dynamic lookup cache because it will keep going back, checking how many, if there are any more for this primary key, bring back and try to update it. Static will not go back and check. It will see this one, insert it, see this one, insert it, see this one, and insert it. Right? So if I have one Abdul 10, one Abdul 20, and one Abdul 30 also, it will bring in the last one. It will think that the last one is the right, and okay, I don't have anything here. And if I run this workflow, it will bring in one Abdul 30. Okay, it will bring in one Abdul 30, and it will load only one record. It will only bring in one record because the other two got, first one Abdul 10 was inserted, then it got overwritten with one Abdul 20, it got overwritten with one Abdul 30. The advantage of using dynamic lookup caches, you don't have to create flags. You don't have to create flags, insert flag and update flag, because it will give you this. It will do the hard work for you, and say instead of using insert flag and update flag, just say if this is equals to 1 insert, if this is equals to 2 update. Is that clear?
So Abdul, yes. I have a question. Yes,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, one thing, so is that whenever we want, just only if you want the insert, then we keep the lookup only the static. Only we do the dynamic when we want insert and update, right?
No, that is not right.
Okay.
That is not right.
Mm-hmm. And the second question I
hold on, wait 1 second. You said something that was incorrect. This is static, okay. Right? So on day 1 we got one Abdul 10, we inserted it. On day 2 we got one Abdul 20.
Right.
We'll update here, right?
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay, yes or no? Did you understand this? You said no updates are allowed in static.
Yes. I thought that like you said, in dynamic you can do the
lookup cache. There is a difference between lookup cache and target. Static or dynamic inserts and updates will happen in the target table. Okay. Static can only handle this. Static cannot handle this. on the same day if you receive two different records, the same primary key. Static cannot handle this. Okay, because when it goes to the lookup cache, it will first insert this in the lookup cache, and then it will come back and insert this the lookup cache.
Okay.
And both of them try to get inserted here, which will fill dynamic. In dynamic, it will insert this one. Then it will go back and bring back this one, and it will override the lookup cache, and only one record will get inserted here. But if you have only one record in your source, it will insert the second. If you get the one record only and it has department ID different, it will update it here. Updates will happen both, but the problem is static cannot handle more than one record in its source file.
Okay.
What's your second question?
Yeah, my second question is that, like, as you told before, that about the surrogate key and the natural key. So let's suppose if you create the surrogate key and you have a constraint on a natural key, okay? So for the time being, temporarily, sorry, like you said before about the surrogate key and the natural key, okay?
Yeah, this is my surrogate key. This is my natural key.
Okay, so yes, this is your surrogate key. So for the time being, the surrogate key. So for the time being, you disable the constraint from the natural key. For the time being, when we do the insert update and all those things.
No.
Because
when you use update strategy, guys, you're not following what I'm saying. When you use update strategy, okay, and if you use bulk load in your target table, it will default to normal mode. You don't have to write pre and post SQL.
No, I got it. My question is that, like, let's suppose if there is a constraint on the natural key, and so when you create
you will not have constraints on natural key. Why? How can you have constraints on natural key? What kind of constraint will you have on natural key? Can you tell me? If I have Abdul, I have Abdul who works in two different departments. What kind of constraint will you have? Primary key? You cannot, right? To avoid that, you will not have any more constraints here. You will have constraints on this one.
Yes, so I'm saying that the constraint is going to be on the surrogate key, right?
Yeah, this one will be primary key.
This one will be the primary key. So, I mean, it's going to be the permanent or temporary. I mean, when we I didn't
understand what is permanent. What is temporary?
I mean, like, I'm just asking in my mind that after doing the work, like whatever, like it's doing that insert, update, delete. So, okay, I got it. That
you didn't get it. You're not able to ask the question. How would you get it? So when you're using update strategy, you cannot use bulk mode. This will default to normal mode, and normal mode means
normal mode means
you don't have to write pre and post
SQL, which is the normal mode. Yeah.
You don't have to write pre and post SQL. That is it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to disable any constraints. There is no constraints will still be there. Instead of doing bulk load, you will do normal load. Okay. So let's complete this. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I got it now.
So in my source, I have two records. Okay. So the previous case was different. Now these are both good records. Previously, I said one is good, one is bad, right? Now these are both good records. So I cannot use employee ID as primary key. Instead, I will create a natural key. Okay. Instead, I will create a natural key. Okay. This will be. Then apart from that, like Tony asked, if I have 50 columns here, will I, in my update flag, will I keep writing department ID not equals to lookup department ID, salary, lookup salary, if the person's salary changes or the zip code changes? No, you will not have that. Okay. So I just introduced a new concept of this surrogate key. Okay. Then I'm going to introduce something called as MD5. Okay. This will always be varchar 32. Okay. Then I will have insert date and update date. Guys, this is important. So the moment they answer the phone, within the 5 minutes, you can expect them to ask what is SCD type 1 and type 2. This is SCD type 1. If you understand this one, you'll understand SCD type 2. Okay. So when you're doing SCD type 1, these are the columns you will always have. Okay. These are the columns you will always have. Okay. So let me go here. Let me create a new folder. Call this as SCD1. Okay. I will have new flat file. So emp underscore SCD1. Okay. In this one, I will say emp ID, name, depth ID, salary, and zip code. I'm going to track changes on these 3 columns. So I can, but it's going to be my update flag is going to be very messy. It will be like huge depth ID not equals to LKP depth ID, or salary not equals to LKP salary, or zip code not equals to LKP zip code, right? It will be like 6 times and it will be huge. So so I'm going to track changes on these 3 columns. Okay, so let me just enter that one. Abdul, 10, salary, zip code. Okay, these are the columns I have in my source file. Save, close, go to my target table, create table, emp underscore SCD underscore 1. Okay, so I will take all the columns from my source. First column will be emp d key. This will be number, and then this will be primary key. Okay. The emp ID will be number. No constraints for natural key. See, somebody was asking, right? No constraints for natural key. Okay. Depth ID will be number. Salary will be number. Zip code will be number. Then I will have insert date, and this will be date. And I will have update date, and this will be date. And MD5, this will always be varchar2.
Abdul name, data type for the name.
Okay, thanks. Varchar2 15. Oh, wait, I have emp ID number. At work, they will give you this flat file and they will ask you to do, please perform SCD type 1 on this. Okay, so you will create MD key, primary key, emp ID, name, depth ID, salary, zip code. So this column and these columns you will add by yourself. These are coming directly from source. Is that clear? I'm going to execute this. So table got created. Okay, now go here. So I'm going to import the structure of my source. Sorry, not this one. Okay, let me just increase this to 15. Control S. Let me import the structure of the target. So let me search for SCD. Okay. Now let me drag and drop. No. So flat file is SCD1. Minimize this. SCD1. Yes. Minimize this. So I will say m underscore ff underscore aura underscore emp underscore scd underscore what. Okay. First thing I'll do is drag and drop my source. Okay. What is the first thing we will do? We will do a lookup on the target to check if the record exists or not, right? Right?
Yes.
No. Going forward, that would be the second step you will do. First step you will do is drag and drop all the columns into the expression and call this as exp underscore md5. So I still did not understand, explain what is md5, right? So you will create a new port here, call this as md5. Okay, this is an output port, and this should be 32. Did I create this as paracat 32? Yep. Okay. So what is MD5? Guys, very important question. What is MD5? This will be highlighted on your resume. MD5, you worked with MD5. So MD5 is instead of, so you will put all the columns on which you're tracking changes here. Okay. So instead of saying source salary not equals to salary or department ID not equals to department ID, remember this, instead of writing 50 columns here, 50 and 50, 100 columns here, you will just say MD5 not equals to MD5. Okay. So you will take all the columns on which you're tracking changes. So currently I'm tracking changes on depth ID and salary and zip code. So these are all the columns I'm tracking changes on. So I'll just put it into one single place. And then I will just in the target table, I have MD5. So I will simply, instead of checking individual columns, I will simply check MD5 not equals to MD5, then update it. Okay. So, but this will give you a warning message. Okay. It will give you a warning saying that operand converted to string. So department ID is what? Number. Salary is number. Zip code is number. But MD5 is string. So you should put 2 underscore char here. Okay. Before salary, you should put, you're converting this to character. You should not, your workflow will work, but your session log will say a bunch of warning messages. See, now no more warning messages. Okay. Is this clear? What is MD5? You will put all the columns on which you're tracking changes into one single column. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the first thing. Please make notes. Okay. This is the first thing you will do. You will take all the columns on which you're tracking changes and put it into one single column. Now you will do a lookup on the target to check if the record exists or not. So I already have the table here, so I don't have to import. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to rename this LKP underscore check underscore record underscore exist. Applies. Say okay. Okay. Now I will join on. Okay. The other thing is I'm going to get rid of all the columns, except I will keep surrogate key, natural key, and MD5. Okay. Now I will drag and drop emp ID. I will drag and drop natural key. Okay. So you will need to practice this 100 times because this is what you will be paid on. Okay. You are going to join on natural key and return surrogate key. Okay. Say apply. Okay. You'll get this error message. So just the one which is coming from flat file, just change this to double. Say apply. Say okay. Control S. Okay. Now everything will be the same. So you will take all of this, dump it here, and you will call this as exp underscore minus underscore upd underscore flags. You're creating flags here, right? And they apply. Say okay. From here, you will only take in this one and this one. Okay, you will only take MD key and MD5. See, you will return these two, and this one and this one, you're using it to join. MPID natural keys you're using to join, and you're returning surrogate key, target surrogate key, and target MD5. Okay, so just put LKP in the front. Target or LKP is the same. Put LKP in the front. Okay, same thing. We will create flags here. Insert underscore flag. This will be string 1. And what will be my insert flag? What will be my insert flag?
We were using Y.
No, I
If
need to write
MD5 is gonna be equal
one.
to
no, not MD5. MD5 is only used for updates.
MD5 is equal to the
No, we will not use MD5 for insert. MD5 is only for updates. I'm writing insert flag. You will not even bring an MD5 in insert. Why would you bring MD5 in insert? MD5 is purely used for updates, because we don't want to have so many things here. We will just use MD5 not equals to MD5 here, instead of department ID not equals to LKP department ID. So zip code not equals to LKP zip code. Salary, instead of writing that, MD5 is only used for update. Remember that. So you have to say if is null target.
Oh, the same statement we used before.
MPID.
No, we will not use MPID. We will not use
the key.
MPID.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go back. We cannot use MPID as primary key. Remember, if a person is hired for 2 different departments, we introduced a concept of MD key, right? So previously we were saying if not is null MPID, when we were only getting 1 row for 1 employee. But when you're getting 2 rows for 1 employee, you're replacing this with this, because this cannot be a primary key anymore, right? Because you have duplicates here. So this becomes your new MPID. Okay, you will still have this, but this will be your new primary key. Clear?
Yes.
So you will join on this one and still join on natural key and return surrogate key. So if is null, so you will say this is your insert flag. So you will write update flag here. You'll write update flag. It will be string 1. Will be an output port, and over here you will write IIF not is
Now this
null.
is MD5, right?
No, nope. MD5, I don't know why you keep saying MD5. MD5 will only come here. Do you see this part? Do you see this part?
Okay.
I'm writing
Yes.
this part. Why will I write MD5 here? MD5 is only to make this thing smaller. That's it. You can write your workflow without MD5 also. MD5 is optional. You first need to figure out if that record is present in the target. How do you check? If not is null, look up MD key, right? If this record is not present in the target, watch the recording later. You're confused between MD key and MD5. Okay. If not is null, LKP MD key, and MD5 not equals to MD5. So Tonya, this was your question, right? If you have 50 columns, right now I'm tracking changes on debt ID, salary, and zip code. I will not say source dep ID not equals to target dep ID, or source salary not equals to target salary, or source zip code not. Instead of writing 6 times 3 and 3 times, I will just say MD5 not equals to MD5, and all the columns which I'm tracking changes, I stored it into MD5 here. MD5, once again, MD5 will make your update flag smaller. You don't have to have MD5, but it will make your update flag smaller. You have to say if not is null, target primary key. If is null, target primary key for insert. Update is not is null, target primary key. Okay, you will not understand this right away. It takes time. You have to practice this. Okay, don't get scared if you don't understand this right now. You'll practice assignments. We will do 1 class on assignments. But for this one, I can spend as much time as you want. Is this clear? The insert and update flag to everyone? Is the insert flag and update flag clear to everyone?
Yeah, we just have to practice.
So You're saying when you're joining on natural key, if the surrogate key you're returning is not null, only then you can update it. Okay, and this one is not same. Okay, so this is your insert and update flag. Okay, then you have one more column here. You will have insert underscore update. You will have insert underscore update underscore date. Make this as date field. You can just go here, just type in this, validate. Okay, so this is your expression. Now you will get your router, same thing. From here you will take all the columns except you will not take MD5. Okay, because that is only used in my update flag. After that, I don't need that. Okay, I'm going to rename this RTR underscore INS underscore UPD. I will create two flags here, two groups, insert, and this one will be ports, insert flag equals to Y. This one will be update flag equals to Y. Okay, so let me drag and drop my targets right now. Target, not targets. Okay, this is my target. Okay, now I will take emp ID, name, dip ID, salary, zip code from here and map it here. Emp ID, name, department ID, salary, zip code. And I have insert date. Okay, and then I have MD5. This is to handle this insert is this instant is to handle only inserts. This target instance is only to handle inserts. Okay, so when you're inserting record for the first time, only insert date will be mapped, right? So I mapped all the columns. Where will MD key come from? Where will MD key come from? Every time I insert a record, a new value should be inserted. So where will that come from?
Sequence generator.
Okay. You will never reset this. Okay. Insert is done. This is updates. Watch this, take notes, practice. If you understand half of it, it's okay. Okay, now let me go to, oh, I did not rename this as update. Okay, now let's go to update. So I need update strategy to update records. So I will take LKP MD key because for an existing LKP means for an existing record. Okay, I will map this. Okay, then I will take emp ID, name, depth ID, salary, zip code. Okay, I will only take department ID, salary, and zip code because a person's employee number will never change. A person's name will never change. A person's department ID, salary, and zip code. These are the things which will change, right? These are not in sequence. Yeah, they're in sequence. A person's employee ID and name will never change. A person's department ID, salary, and zip code will change. Then I will take insert update date. This time I will map it to update date. Over here, I mapped it to insert date. And then I will take MD5 and then I'll map it to MD5 here. Okay. Over here, you can either write DD underscore update or you can write 1. I just wrote 1. That's it. This is your HCD1. This is your HCD1. First, you will check for MD5, check if the record exists. Insert an update flag, router, insert, and update, and then sequence generator. So let me create a workflow for this, and we will test our 5 test cases. This is not easy. You will have questions, and which is normal. Okay. So first thing, make sure that this is data driven. Okay. Second thing, make this a stop on error 1. Third thing, make sure you have the right folder name here. Make sure you have the right folder name here. You will never ever truncate the target tables. Okay. Make sure you give a connection here. And even though you have primary key on empty key, you will not have, and you can still keep it bulk load and run it. It will default to normal mode. You don't have to write pre and post SQL. So how many records do I have in my source? So I have 1 record in my source. Okay, let me run this workflow. So 1 record read and 1 record went through insert. Okay, so let me do select star on this. Okay, do you see this MD5? So we concatenated this one, and this one. So what is this? This is 10 pipe 1000 pipe 111, and then it converts it to something value. Okay, I don't want to see this date in this format. Does anybody have the alter session command?
I sent the chat.
No, I have it. Okay, so I just want to see the dates in the proper format. At work, you don't have to run an alter session command. Your dates. Okay, so do you see 1 Abdul 10 1000 zip code? Okay, this is my first test case. See, Abdul never got updated. Abdul got inserted at this date, right? So my second test case is, let me change Abdul's zip code. Let me change Abdul's zip code 22222. Okay, see MD5. Look at, let's take a screenshot of this. Now what will happen? My record MD5 will change, right? Previously it was 111. Now MD5, in the MD5 which is going to come in on day 2, and the MD5 which is already present in the target will change, right? Is that clear to everyone? Because this became 222. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this record and this record is already present in target. So what will happen here? So this record will not even go through insert. It will go through update, because if is null, LKP MD key. No, LKP MD key is 1 for this emp ID. So it will not even go. If not is null, LKP MD key, which is correct. LKP MD key is not null, and MD5 not equals to MD5. Exactly, because this MD5 and the one which is going to come in now, these will be different, because MD5 is what? It is concatenation of 3 different columns here, right? So let me run the workflow now. So 1 record will be read, 0 insert, and 1 update. See 1 update. Do you see this MD5 here?
Yes.
If I run my workflow now, and do you see the update date? It's null, right? See what happens. So Abdul worked in the previous department zip code for like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and look at the MD5. MD5 is also changed. MD5 is purely used for updates. Is this clear? This was the previous screenshot, and this is the current screenshot. This is SCD1 where we don't maintain history. In SCD2, we maintain history. So I don't have anything for the history, right? 111, I don't have any history. So in SCD1, you don't maintain history. In SCD2, you will have 2 records for Abdul. One for the 111, and it will say not active. I'll cover that later. I don't want to go into that. So in SCD1, you do not maintain history. Okay. Third test case, I'm going to run the workflow without making any changes. So 1 record will be inserted, 0 insert, 0 update. Okay. Fourth test case, I am going to insert. I'm going to insert a new employee, 20, 1000, 2222. So this person's MD5 will be different. Okay, and then I will change this person's. So 2 records will be read, 1 insert and 1 update. See, 2 records will be read, 1 insert and 1 update. Do you see this MD5? This was the first MD5. This is the second MD5 for Abdul. Look at the third MD5 for Abdul. See, the third MD5 for Abdul is different. It keeps changing because if any of these columns change, the MD5 will change. See, Kamran got inserted at this time. Abdul was inserted at this time and Abdul got updated at this time. Clear? If a person has an update date, that means that this person had some other records before that. If a person does not have an update date, that means Kamran never got changed. Kamran's information never got changed. Now the final test case, we are going to change, and we change the key columns and we test it. We will change the non-key columns. I will put Kamran 1 here. So 2 records will be inserted, 2 records will be read, no insert, no update. Okay, 2 read, no insert, no update. These are my 5 test cases. And if I execute my select statement, no changes here. See, the MD5 is still the same. This is SCD1. Okay.
Abdul, can you go back to the mapping, please? Can you show me how did you capture the update date in the target?
I created an output for date.
But you connected to the create date time, right? Not the insert.
When I'm inserting data, can you go on mute, please? I can hear an echo. When I'm in my insert instance, I will only map to insert, because when you're inserting record, this will handle only pure inserts, records coming in for the first time. So when you're inserting a record, you will not have update date. This is going to handle only pure updates. So that's why I have update date checked here, mapped here. Over here, when you're inserting records, you will map insert. When you're updating records, only update date will be mapped from the same column. These two are getting loaded from the same column. See, insert date, it's coming from this one. Update date is also coming from this one only. You can create 2 different columns here, insert date, sys date, update date, sys date. But when the logic is same, you can just create one single column and map it to this one and this one. One second, first you'll calculate MD5, do a lookup on the target, check if the record exists, create your insert update flag, route to insert and update, and MD key will get loaded from the sequence generator. Over here, MD key will come from the lookup, because this is an existing record which you want to change. And to use an update strategy, you should have a primary key. And then at the session level, you'll make sure it's data driven. And you'll make sure that target tables are never truncated. You can use bulk mode and don't have to write pre and post SQL. You can leave it as bulk mode. You don't have to write pre and post SQL. And make sure that this is data driven. And you have to test for 3 test cases: inserts, updates, insert and update, no changes, changing a non-key column. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So the assignment.
I'm looking at 11, and but we have to load into a flat file. Oh wait, bad
Bad
records.
records. Those are
Okay.
bad records. So
Okay, I see.
okay. So guys, of course, assignments are going to be more difficult than what I do in class. But anyways, we will. So my question is, it's going to be complicated. Okay, you have to spend time. Assignment 11, right? Is this assignment? This is 10. So create a folder. Create a folder. Create a folder. This one, Ample Best Buy. So load all data to Ample dimension. Perform SCD1. Track changes on these 3 columns. Exactly what I did, except that I don't want to load the bad records. So this is a bad record. This is a bad record. This is a bad. See, if employee ID is character, varchar, if phone number is not in this format, if department ID is not 2 digits, so this is also a bad record. So all the bad records, I want to load it to a flat file, and all the good records, I want to load it to employee dimension. So I am combining error handling and SCD type 1 into one place. Should be able to do it. Very straightforward, because you know how to do error handling. You know how to do SCD type 1. This one, okay, you still cannot do the third assignment. We'll do this. You can do this one. Okay, do the second.
Abdul, I don't understand that second. How are we supposed to?
We
What are
already
we?
did this, right?
Yeah, but what number on what? Are we supposed to create a sequel? Like, you know?
This is even. This is odd. This is even. This is odd. This is even, right? This is coming at the first position. This is coming at the second position. So anything which is coming at the first, third, and fifth position, you have to load it into one table, into odd. Jawad and Fahad should get loaded into even. We did this exact same thing. No difference. You have to use a sequence generator in expression, in the filter. You still don't remember this?
Yeah, we have to use the sequence generator.
Yeah, that's. I was not sure about that. Like,
we did this. We did this. Please watch the previous recordings. We did this. It's a very simple one.
So Abdul, I'm sorry,
actually over here. This is the one. No, not this. This is not the one. Yeah. What's your question?
I disconnected. I don't know, like why. So the assignment is that 10.2 or?
No, assignment is 10. Yeah, you're right. 10.2. Don't do the third one. Okay, you cannot do this one. If you want, if you want to, you can do it. Don't do this. Do 10.2 and the 11th assignment.
And 11th, okay.
Yeah. You have to so you have to route all the bad records to one flat file.
And SCD1.
And SCD1 on this. So you have to do error handling. You have to do SCD1. You have to do indirect load. This is indirect load because you have two flat files, right? So I combined. So if you guys do this assignment, you probably don't have to do any of the previous classes. You don't even have to do any of the previous assignments. I mean, you should, but if you do this one assignment, you don't have to do any of the previous assignments.
Abdul, what is the last line right here? The last row, the phone number and.
I don't know. That is one of my students' phone number. I think I just saved it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll remove that. Okay. Any questions? I covered in. I also covered, but I'll cover that again. Static and I covered dynamic lookup cache. I'll cover it just because somebody asked that question. I covered it, but yeah. Okay, so we have class on Tuesday. You have entire day, tomorrow, Tuesday, half day to do 2 assignments. One is probably like 2 minutes. The other one is slightly more. So please work on those. Any questions?
I have one question which is related to the previous class, but if you want, you can stop recording. Then I can go ahead with you.
No, that's okay. You can share screen. I don't have a problem.
Okay.
Guys, if you have any questions, please ask in class because I don't get these messages. Okay.
Abdul, also, I don't know like where to choose double, where to choose decimal. Does it matter? Does it make a difference?
The record which is coming from flat file, always change that. The column which is coming from flat file, make it the same as the one coming from database.
But sometimes it says number, so what's good for number, decimal or double?
They just have to match, that's it.
Okay.
See, database has its own data types, Powercenter has its own data types, which I don't understand why they do that. They should have just kept it same. Because when you import a flat file as integer, it converts it to decimal. Okay, when you import the database, in the source definition, you will have one data type, and that in the source qualifier, you have another data type.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so Abdul, I have one question here. So this one, I'm gonna. Okay, anyway, so my question was about this. You remember we were talking about the making our own, like SQL override on the
Change the
lookup.
default order by.
Yes. So that one I couldn't do it. Like there's the descending one. On depth name I did it.
You have to put depth underscore LKP before that. You have to put the table name. Look at how the column names are there in the select.
Like that, right?
Yeah, like that. Check out your mapping, make changes here. You cannot, your mapping is it's checked in right now. Check out and make changes here.
Find this map.
Just go to versioning on the top and say versioning checkout. Just say changing default order by in lookup. Don't put working or dot or slash. A lot of people do that. Put exact comments, changing default order by or changing order by in lookup. Because tomorrow when you want to look at the history, you shouldn't be saying working, like what did you work on? Then you have to go and compare with previous version and say, oh, lookup query was changed.
Okay.
Okay, double click on this. Go to properties. Go there. Get rid of that. Yeah. Put that. Yeah.
But why it works when I just put the depth name?
It will work, right? In database, you're already logged in.
No. If I put instead of depth ID here,
okay,
just only the depth name, it works. I put like this one.
Okay, so you're trying to do a sort by depth ID, right? But why? Okay, what was it doing previously? Okay, say apply. Say okay, Control S. Refresh your session, and make sure your lookup has the proper.
Connection.
No connection. No, make sure the lookup override got refreshed here as well. Sometimes it won't get. Double click on your lookup in the session and make sure that you have the new lookup override here.
You mean on the designer here?
Not there. Go to session.
Oh, in the session.
This is the wrong workflow. Open the right workflow. Yeah, double click on this. Go to mappings. Go to lookups. And
here. You mean.
Make sure that it has the.
Yeah, correct one.
Okay. Okay. Click OK. Say OK. Control S and run the workflow.
Think.
No. Double click on the workflow on the left side. Okay, scroll all the way. Yeah, there you have it, right? 426 on the top.
This one, right?
Yeah. Maximize this on the left side. Double click on the session and get the session on. And
Here. So
copy
okay,
that.
so you see that like that one. Okay, I can copy that.
Yeah, it is doing order by. It is doing the right thing.
Let's see that.
No, you didn't copy the order by the last two lines. You just copied the second last line. No, the last two lines. Place your cursor before select. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll put the E at the end of that.
Yeah, go to your database.
And then I have to find one.
No, you have the schema open, right? HR schema over there. Yeah, Control V. See, you're doing order by depth ID. Descending. It's taking in. Yeah, it is taking in. Execute this. So it is taking in the depth ID descending. Previously, it was doing depth ID and depth name. You said no, don't do by depth ID and depth name. So when you said don't do it by that, that thing got commented out by itself.
Okay, but what about when I run the workflow, correct? And it goes to the target table, right? When I see the target table, should it change or not on the depth IDs?
No. No, you're confusing two different things. This is only you're changing the sequence, the order by in the lookup. You will still have the same sequence what you have in the source. Open your source.
Source.
Your source is a flat file, right, or table?
I think table. It was a table.
Show me the table.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me see.
Go to your left. Yeah. So hold on. So what is the emp ID you have? What do select star on your source table? Double click on that.
Oh, here?
Yeah. Copy the table name. Do select star on that. Okay, execute this. So in your target table, you will have the same sequence: 1 Abdul 10, 2 Ramil 23, Turab 30. And the names will be what you have from the target table, from the lookup. Do select star on your target. So you're changing the sequence in between. You're not changing the sequence of the source, right? Source has one sequence. Yeah, you'll have the same sequence what you have in the source. So when, okay, go back to your designer. So your workflow will start. Powercenter will read 1 Abdul 10 as the first record. It will find out the department name for depth ID 10, and then it will load it into the target. Then it will go back and read the second record from the source. Find a match for it in the lookup.
So my question is that it's not for this descending, it's not for the displaying here on the join table, right?
No, it is not for.
It's just reading the data as an index that like it indexed kind of like it makes like a descending or ascending.
Do select star on your table. Do select star on your lookup table. So you're
this one?
On your lookup.
You mean this one?
What is your lookup table? Double click on your lookup. Go to properties. Copy that lookup table name, depth underscore LKP. Do select star from this. So your target will have the same sequence you have in source, unless you're using a sorter or anything. Okay. So now you're saying order by depth ID, right?
Yes, descending.
So 30 will go on the top, 10 will come on the bottom, right? But in the source you have 1 Abdul 10, right?
Hold on 2 seconds.
Okay, show me your source. 1 up to 10, right?
Okay, here is a 1 up to 10.
Yeah, the same way the data will get loaded into the target also. 1 up to 10 only.
Okay.
So what is your question?
My question is that, you know what?
Are you expecting the target sequence to change?
Yes.
Why would it change? Are you changing the sequence of your source? You're not changing the sequence of your source. You're only changing the sequence when it's doing a lookup.
Oh, so it means that like the flow of the data.
Okay, Powercenter will start. The first record it will read is 1 Abdul 10, right?
Like that.
Yeah, so it will insert that into the table. Then it will come back, read 2 Ramil 20. It will find a match for 20 in the lookup table. There is no match. So it will load 2 Ramil 20. See, it loaded 2 Ramil without anything. Then it will read the third record, 3 Turab 30. 30 will find a match HR. It will load 30 HR. You in the between, you can the lookup, you can change the sequence like upside down or descending or ascending. You can do whatever you want in the lookup. That is only for finding a match.
I see. So it means that as a logic, like in a lookup, if we did like a depth ID descending in the lookup, it starts from here, but again comes to the display like that, right?
Lookup will not change how your data is getting loaded into the target.
Not loading, the reading the data I'm talking about.
Yeah, reading it. Yeah, that the 30 will go up.
So why I need like to make the descending or ascending? What's the reason I'm doing the descending or ascending?
Okay. You see 10 IT and 10 sales?
Excuse me?
Look at your target lookup table.
Okay, lookup table is this one.
That is not your lookup table.
Depth one. Hold on for a second. Is this one here?
Okay. So I want all the department names starting with the. I want the department names in ascending order.
Okay.
So I should be on the top. S should be on the bottom. Right. So you will say order by depth name. Order by depth name, ascending, right?
Okay.
And then if you are finding multiple matches, you will say pick up the first record. So you will say order in ascending and pick up the first record. In that case, you will never pick up sales.
Oh, I see. Okay, in that way, it's the reason that like a ascending or
only when you have multiple records, multiple matches in your lookup, that it makes sense. When you have 10 IT and 20 sales and 30 HR, then you don't need. Whether you do anything, it will find only one match and pick up one match.
I see. Okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. No, if no questions, we can end that call.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay.